Well, welcome everybody, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching a recording. We are so happy that you're here with us and you're interested in understanding a little bit more about your vibrancy signature. My name is Janice Gebhardt. I am a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company, and I'm a mom of 4 kids. And I discovered my vibrancy signature through Jamie and Chaya 12 years ago. Can't believe it's been that long. And it really was so empowering for me. I have to say that everything about my own personality that I always saw as flaws, I realized are my gifts. And I thought they were flaws because that was how I knew I was different than other people. You know, specific ways that I always seemed different. And when I understood my vibrancy signature, I understood that those are my gifts to the universe. And if I really understand those and I develop them and I let them shine, this is my little mango kitty. She has to be in the limelight too. But if I really let those shine, then I am just so much more powerful in everything that I do. And when I'm utilizing my gifts, my entire life works so much better. Yes. And the therapeutic work that I've done with Jamie proves absolutely beyond the shadow of a doubt that I can't imagine not being able to do this work and not understanding my vibrancy signature. I use it in every aspect of my life. With my business, a lot of people that I work closely with understand their vibrancy signature, and it is wonderful. It gives us a whole new language to communicate in and to really understand how to work together better. My kids, I know my kids' vibrancy signature, and hands down, that's the best parenting move I ever made, because Jamie and Chaya have helped me so many times with, okay, you know, this child is doing this, and these are her superheroes. Like, how do I respond? And there's definitely a much more close level of communication and understanding with my kids. I use it in all of my personal relationships. I use it really in every aspect of my life, and every so often I can just kind of check in with each of my superheroes and see if their needs are being met and, you know, they're really being nurtured. So I am so excited to announce that Jamie and Chaya are coming to Austin, Texas and Houston, Texas to help people discover their vibrancy signature. So they'll be in Austin on August 24th. And then Houston on August 25th and 26th. Right. And I'm just beside myself with knowing that so many of my friends and family are going to be able to understand, you know, what I understand with this, and also it'll increase that level of communication between all of us.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
absolutely. So this is incredible work, and without further ado, I will turn it over to Jamie and Chaya.
Awesome. Thank you, Janice.
Thank you so much, Janice. We had such a great time in Houston. I think it was 2 years ago, and worked with a lot of members of your Juice Plus team and a lot of their kids and husbands and families. And even since then, some of the people from the Texas area have flown up to Virginia to see us because they didn't have husbands and kids done while we were there. So they flew here to discover it. A lot of the work we can do by phone, but this first step of discovering your vibrancy signature, we have to be in person for. So we'll tell you more about that. But we are so excited. We just love coming to see you and meeting all these wonderful people that you know.
Yeah. So tonight we're going to be introducing you to your vibrancy signature, what it's all about, how this system got developed. What are some of the benefits of knowing your vibrancy signature? You know, this is really a one-of-a-kind tool. It's been my life's work, and I'm always excited when I get to meet new people and share this you know, this is amazing system. It just makes such a difference in the quality of life, in understanding your soul's purpose. Is, I think what Janice said, so many times we get self-conscious about being different, And the most amazing thing about your vibrancy signature is there are no two vibrancy signatures alike. So you get to actually start to own and step into your uniqueness, step into that beautiful blueprint that you have, and learn how to do it more and more effectively every single day. And that's really kind of what we'll call the self-mastery of this work. First, discovering your vibrancy signature. We'll talk to you about the process that we go through to do that. And then hopefully by the time this webinar is over, you're going to get a real clear sense of the value and where this could make a difference in your life.
Yeah. You know, you're in the right place watching this video if you have a craving to do what you came here to do, you know, to live your soul's purpose, to feel at the end of every day, this is why I'm here. This is what my life's all about. You know, when you understand your vibrancy signature and you develop your life so that you're able to really step into those gifts and give those gifts and share them with the world, not only are you creating a huge impact, but at the end of the day, you're not exhausted from your work. You feel close and connected to your family. You just have that sense of rightness. This is who I am. This is what I was born to do. It can help you in your business. It can help you in your relationships. It can help you with your health. This is like the core blueprint of who you are. You know, we often talk about this as like it's an owner's manual, and wouldn't it have been wonderful if when our moms got pregnant with us, this dropped from the heavens and said, this is who your baby's going to be. Here's how to care for it. So, but it's never too late. You know, when we talk about self-care, you know, that word goes around a lot now, that phrase goes around a lot now. When we talk about self-care, when you know your vibrancy signature, you have deep details of what self-care is for you, far beyond eating well and getting enough sleep and having a hobby you love. We get into some really wonderful details that help you nurture yourself at the soul level. So it really, really fills you up, the life that you designed for yourself when you create it to be in harmony with your soul's purpose.
Yeah. So let me just tell you a little bit about ourselves. I'll talk to you about my background, how I developed this work. This has been my life's work. I think my vibrancy path journey began certainly as a pre-med student. I got exposed to very early on this whole understanding of energetic medicine and who we are as energetic beings, and it was a very eye-opening experience. It's kind of like the physics of medicine. And so I got exposed to healing traditions from around the world. And I said, why isn't somebody pulling all these healing modalities together? Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, acupuncture, herbal medicine, naturopathy, all these different healing traditions. And everyone is a separate school and a separate discipline, and don't even get into the legal ramifications of the states you have to practice in. But basically, this whole world of healing was something that was always fascinating to me. And after graduating with a degree in human nutrition, I was the director of a alternative cancer center in Michigan. And it was an amazing experience. I was there for 2.5 years. And, you know, we used to call it the cosmic car wash, because people would come there that literally had kind of given away their lease on life. It's, you know, probably half the people that came had less than 6 months to live from a traditional medical point of view. And so we were helping them with their diets, helping them with their lifestyle, helping them sort of rediscover the keys to wellness. And I remember very well a young little girl. She was 16 years old. She had a very serious cancer that was evident on her skin. It was very serious. I used to hold her hand and comfort her, and her dad said, this is my last resort. I want you to, you know, try to save my baby. This is the only child I have. Whatever you can do. And, you know, I was a young man. I was 23 years old, and a lot of responsibility to put on my shoulders. And, you know, at the time, I was asking her so many questions about her life and, you know, what her hobbies are and what she likes to do and what she's been doing with her health and well-being. And what I discovered is that this young girl really didn't sense that she had any purpose in life, that there was she didn't think she was special, that she didn't think she was pretty, she didn't think she had any particular gifts. Um, and I realized at the time it was something that struck me very deeply, because several weeks after she left, she passed away. And I realized how critical, no matter what quality nutrition we have, what quality lifestyle we have, what quality, health relationships we have, if we don't internally have a sense of, why am I here on the planet? What's my purpose? What are my gifts? What am I here to share with the world? And it was my awakening. It was really the beginning of my journey on the vibrancy path, where I said, I've got to discover a way to help people want to live, want to have a reason to share their gifts, share their talents, share their blessings with the world. And so I knew that I needed to discover a way that that was possible. And really, basically, almost, that was 82. About 8 years later is when I started to understand the details of what now we call your vibrancy signature. But the vibrancy signature is so interrelated with healing modalities from around the world. It's an understanding of the blueprint of how your soul comes into a human body. And that was the very first eye-opening classes that I took as a pre-med student, was understanding that we have a wireless anatomy that holds this body together. And what your vibrancy signature is this amazing, beautiful, colorful blueprint of that energetic anatomy.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah. So one of the things, we're grateful because this young lady, 19 years ago, I believe, called me up and said, hi, I'm new in town, and I hear you, my friend told me you do something about colors, and it has to do with your career and finding, what you would like to do with your life. And, so I have no money, but, maybe we can figure something out. And I said, I'm new to town. I'm just getting my practice started. So sure, come on over. And I saw this beautiful woman running around my front yard with these two dogs, one three-legged dog and one, beautiful white fluffy dog. And I said, this is a cool person. She comes with her dogs. And I'll let her tell you the rest of the story.
So, well, let me back up for a minute and tell you how I got to that point. I was an Olympic diver. So I won an Olympic bronze medal in 1988, and a long time ago now. But I was diving and training for 21 years. I won a bunch of national championships. I won a world title. I got that bronze medal in the Olympics. So I had this amazing career. But from a really young age, I also struggled with depression. It was kind of weird because I had depression on one side and I had this incredible goal. As a matter of fact, that's, I think, what medicated my depression for so long, was I could focus on this goal. Excuse me, speaking of dogs, and work towards this goal. But pretty young, and it was about the same time I think the depression came in. I started having this feeling. My birth name was Wendy, and so I was Wendy the diver, and everybody thought of me that way, Wendy the diver. So I thought of myself that way. But really young, I thought, this is kind of a problem, because aren't I more than that? So that little thing bugged me and worked on me for a really, really long time. There were years of fear, like, when diving is over, what will I be? Will I just disappear? Who else am I? And what I know now is my diving was feeding some parts of me. It was really allowing some of my gifts to shine. But it was kind of like a flower. Have you ever seen a misformed flower where just a few petals have opened and all the rest are crumpled in? So my life was kind of like that. Some of my petals were open to the sun, and I'm giving my gifts, and I'm living this dream, and I'm having these amazing experiences. But all the ones that are crumpled in are causing depression and confusion. So as you can imagine, when diving was over, the depression hit really hard. And I spent about 7 years spinning in circles and on meds, and really trying to figure out what now, who am I, what's this all about? And I don't know why, but I had some core drive. I didn't have the phrase soul's purpose, but that's what I was driving towards. It's like, I just know there's something that's meant just for me and for every person, but I was really driven to find mine. I even at one point was taking all these personality tests, where you answer the questions and then they're going to tell you what you should do with your life. And nothing was working. And I was frustrated with those questions because I felt like I could have answered them in so many different ways. Like, well, I'm sort of a 2, but I'm sort of a 3, and sometimes I'm a 4. And how are you ever going to get a great, you know, direction from that when that's how you're answering? So, so that was when my friend told me Jamie had moved to our area and he'd help you find your career. And so I went to him. And he's going to tell you in just a minute how he evaluates for a vibrancy signature, but there are no questions. And there's no room for my brain to say, well, maybe a little of this and a little bit of that. There's no fooling him. And he can get behind, because he's looking at this energy signature, he can get behind all the chatter in your head, all the stories of I should be this, and my parents think I should be that, and the culture says this is successful. It can cut through all of that and get to what your soul wants to do, what your soul wants to be. So we were 20 minutes into this session, and I'm not kidding. I am like, this is it. This is what I want to do with my life. Oh my God, you have to hire me. Please hire me. This is what I've been looking for, because I believe that every person has this kind of specialness. And he's just like, okay, ma'am, why don't we finish your session? And I guess we could talk about that later. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. So I got him to hire me, and 90 days later, we also got married. So it was a really good deal. That was a really good day. Yeah. And that was 18 and a half years ago. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's how I came to this work. And it's just, I mean, every day I just had a wonderful client today, a 22-year-old girl. Oh, what I would have given to have learned this at 22, just coming out of Harvard, confused about who she is, what she should be, what she majored in versus what she really loves. And it was just an amazing, amazing, beautiful session. And she got so much clarity and insight and new love for herself. So it's just such a gift to do this.
You think of how much kids and parents are investing in education today, and it makes the investment in your vibrancy signature seem like a little thimble of investment, because it pays more dividends than you can ever imagine, because it actually explains exactly how your career energy will be fulfilled. Where's the difference between your personal life and your professional life? And sometimes, like many of us, for me, it took me 20 years to do the wrong thing before I went, oh, I'm supposed to do this in my personal life, this in my professional life. So just having those distinctions, because your vibrancy signature is that specific. Yeah. So without further ado, what we're going to do is share the screen with a little PowerPoint. This one. This one. Yes, yeah. Yeah, that one. Cool. Thank you. And then share. Cool. So this cool modern technology. Here we go. Slideshow. Come on, slideshow. And dun, da, da, da.
Nope.
Oops, the
sorry,
wrong one.
Wrong one, although that's a beautiful quote.
It's a beautiful quote. I love that quote. All right, so we must have needed to share this quote. There we go. We're going to try again here. It must be the second one is, oh, this is the one. This one, desktop, and then slideshow. Desktop. Or this one. No.
I don't know.
This one.
Try that one. Sorry, we did practice this.
We did. There we go.
It's this one.
This is the one. Try one more time. Here we go. Dun, da, da, da.
There we go.
Yay! All right. So, so basically, the vibrancy path is our business. This is all about teaching people how to align themselves with their vibrancy signature so they can walk on a vibrant path in their business, a vibrant path in their personal life, a vibrant path with their health. So basically what your vibrancy signature is are frequencies of energy. They're all these wonderful holographic, if you've ever heard of a hologram, your body is actually a holographic blueprint of light frequencies. So this is like the physics of the human body, you know, doctors study chemistry, they study anatomy. What they don't always study is the physics that holds the human body together. And that's what my background is being able to understand that energetic blueprint. And one of the things that I do when I first meet a person is I do some pulse evaluation. So if I was doing chai right now, I would hold a pulse on the back of her neck, pulse on the top of her head. It's all very non-invasive, simple little pulse points. And each of these pulse points that I evaluate is corresponding to a different energy pattern, an aspect of that person's vibrancy signature. And there are 14 distinct energy patterns that make each of us unique. And that's why when Chai was saying, I love the petal analogy. You know, sometimes we'll have jobs that are feeding some parts of us while other parts of us are starving to find an outlet for our talents. The same thing in our personal life. We might have some friends that meet some of our personal needs, and others that, you know, other needs are going unmet, and whether it's our creativity. The first time I told Chaya that she was this incredibly creative person, and she had so much artistic and natural creative talent, and there's this like little voice in her said, I always thought I had some artistic talents, and yet as a jock, as this world-class athlete, those talents had never been supported, never been nourished. And this happened to be a really critical part of who she is, and who she's been for the last 19 years, when she immediately went into blowing glass, taking photography, you know, being an incredible expert chef. I mean, there's so many creative talents that she's developed as a result of embracing that part of her vibrancy signature.
Oh, and the petals unfolded like magic. Cue angel music. But those were the creative parts of me were some of those petals that were really jammed in there, for sure. For sure. So when you discover your vibrancy signature, it's really fun because you're going to find out you have all these colors. You know, that's how Jamie's measuring it when he's evaluating what your vibrancy signature is. He's feeling these energy patterns, and he can measure what color they relate to. So it's really fun because you come away and you say, oh, I'm a blue, and I'm a blue-green, and I'm a saffron, and you got these colors. But here's the important thing. The colors are each associated with a power or a natural talent or a gift. So, you know, when you remember I'm a saffron, which is the power of energizing, and I really light people up and get stuff moving and can kick things into gear, and there's no challenge I'm going to turn away from, that's the piece that we want to really teach you about. It's fun to know what the color is, but it's the power. And again, you've got 14 of these. One of the things that is really cool about our work, actually, let me come back to that. Let me talk about this for a minute. So when we talk about your vibrancy signature and we make this claim that this corresponds to your soul's purpose, one of the reasons we say that is because of its absolute uniqueness. We did some math, and trust me, it's off the charts. The calculator stopped working when we were part of the way through all the variables, and we were at 5 quintillion. How many combinations of powers a person could have. So when we say you're unique, it's really possible that in all of time, there's never been another person with your exact vibrancy signature. So there is some reason that you are here at this time with this combination of powers. You know, you are giving these off as energies in your field, but also as you align with them and you really embrace them, then your words are echoing those powers, your actions are a demonstration of those powers, and now your impact on people is huge. So there's a reason that you have come with this exact combination to make this impact. You are needed. You know, and there are no accidents. So you are needed, and the more you can embrace these gifts, the bigger your impact is going to be. And then, as we mentioned earlier, it's not just about everybody else. It's also when you're going to feel the best too. So it's a really nice thing how those go together. So you are perfect. You have it all inside you. Let me talk about this analogy we love to play with. So colors and powers, they go together. But one of my favorite analogies to work with is this idea that not just a color and a power, but these are different characters inside you. Like if you could imagine for a moment, you are the owner of this amazing team of superheroes, as Janet said, this team of characters that are incredibly gifted. They know exactly how to make your life awesome and how to make you happy. And and when you get them working together, they are so amazing. So this understanding of vibrancy signature with each color and power, it's like meeting another character on your team. And each one has their own opinions on life and their own perspective. They have their own needs, which is a really important one we'll talk about in your session. How to take care of, that was when I talked about earlier about self-care, how to take care of each of these parts of you. They all have needs, and when you meet their needs, they show up with their gifts, right? When you feed your kids, they can take action in the world. They can get up and get out of bed and go have a life. So when you feed yourself what these parts of you are needing, then their gift can really shine. So, so that is one of the things that we'll talk about a lot in your session. And then not only will you get to know each of them individually, but we'll talk about how they come together as a team. Because in the, like the analogy we gave earlier of my experience, it's possible that 2 or 3 parts of you are really alive and the others are hanging back. And ultimately, if you've done any business or sports or creative projects on a team, you know that the more everybody shows up and brings their best, the more alive it is, and the more creative and the more successful it is. So it's the same with us. The more healthy, the more vibrant we're going to be if we get all these parts of us working together.
So that's, you know, that's one thing you want to ask yourself. What's it going to be like if all of these qualities within you, these characters within you, these wonderful powers within you began to just feel more alive, more radiant, more energized? It's kind of like, you know, what would happen if all members of this amazing cast of characters felt radiant, alive, energetic? It just means that, you know, you don't need drugs, alcohol, stimulants to get you through your day. Your own life energy gets you through your day. Your own joy of being in alignment with why your soul's here gives you that sense of fulfillment, gives you that sense of joy, gives you that energy. You know, and when every day I'm working with helping people get more vital with the vibrancy healing work that I do, it's all about helping people discover where they've gotten short-circuited in being themselves. And so the whole process of the vibrancy path starts with learning what your vibrancy signature is, and then learning gradually how to embrace it, how to support it, how to feed it, as Chaya said, because every one of us literally needs different type of food, different types of experiences, different types of input to feel satisfied, to feel engaged, to feel alive. And that's why this is such a cool tool. Your vibrancy signature never changes. When I evaluate a young child, you know, the first 5 colors get established at age 1. So I have some moms that will bring in their young babies right at the age of 1 and say, okay, give me the scoop on my kid here. I've got some parents locally that would bring their kids in every 3 months to go, okay, what's the next color? What's the next color? And so by the time a child gets to be 4 years old, all 14 of their colors have arrived. And so by the time the kid is going to kindergarten, this is a wonderful experience. I always think, wouldn't it be an amazing world if every kindergarten teacher and every parent of a kindergarten kid knew exactly what the gifts and talents of this little child would be, so that anytime their classes or their activities or their social pressures came into place where they were starting to take a detour on being themselves, that very quickly the kid could get themselves righted, back into alignment. The parents would know exactly what was more appropriate for this unique child that I have. That's, to me, what a dream of my vision is, that this would be a standard. You know how kids get their hearing tested as a kindergartner or 3rd grade, whatever it might be, that they have this done as basically a Kinder Power module. So that's one of my little visions for the future.
Yeah, we did a Kinder Colors program one time, which was fantastic.
It was very cool.
But in case you're older than a kindergartner, it's not too late to start.
No,
it's never too late to start. We have had first-time clients in their 80s that are like, you know, who am I? And for many of them by 80, they have figured out a lot. But I've heard a lot of stories about, I didn't figure that out till I was 65.
Yeah, where were you 50 years ago?
Exactly. So the sooner the better. Yeah, the sooner the better.
So let's go ahead and launch into really a deeper understanding of how to use your vibrancy signature in your day-to-day life. So we use this simple little acronym CRAVE as a way of understanding how to get into alignment with your soul's purpose and how to use your vibrancy signature in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, like, why do you want to know this? So here we go.
Here we go.
The C.
The C of CRAVE is for your career. You know, so many people spend such a large amount of energy. Oftentimes when we hear how many hours people are spending at work, we're always shocked. And so one of the things that you want to make sure is that you're finding a job that regenerates you. Because within your vibrancy signature, there are actually 4 of your 14 colors that specifically are targeted for you bringing to how you want to serve the world, how you want to make a difference for other people, sharing your gifts. People want to pay you for your expression colors, these expression colors that say, I express these talents to the world, and the world goes, so I thank you so much for bringing these talents. And guess what? This area of your vibrancy signature is what catalyzes your body to be regenerating. So literally, if you find right livelihood, you keep younger and younger all the time. Your body will constantly regenerate. Every cell of your body is a new cell every 7 years. So if you're not in the right job, and if you're not getting all those, think of like cylinders of a car. If you don't get all 4 of those cylinders firing smoothly every day, serving the world, then you're not regenerating yourself the way you need to. So this is what keeps you young, and you can never retire from being in this expression of your life. The vibrancy signature that keeps you young is something you never retire from. You can retire from a job, but never from a way of life that is defined by your vibrancy signature.
Yeah, and just on a very practical level, if at the end of the day it was a reasonable amount of work hours, let's say it was 8 work hours, I know a lot of people don't do that, but if it's just 8 hours, but you still feel really drained and exhausted, and most likely your job is not lining up enough with the parts of you that want to give those gifts to the world. Now, this doesn't mean we don't sit here and tell people, oh my gosh, you got to leave that job. We can help, and some people do come to us like, I'm going to leave my job, help me figure out what to do next. But if that's not the case, we can often find tweaks within what you're already doing so that it's feeding these parts of you more. I know this one client we've had for about 20 years, and the first career wasn't feeding her at all, but we found a few things she could do within it to like get her through, like put a Band-Aid on it until she knew what the next step was. So then the next career was so much better, and at the time it seemed perfectly in alignment. But over the years, a few other pieces got, pardon me, healthier. And then she even realized how she could take it up another notch, and she just at mid-50s made another shift to a career, and she's just like, oh my God, Jamie and Chai, can you believe how in alignment this one is? So little tweaks and sometimes big changes. I want to say one other thing too. I know a lot of people, you don't have a career, you don't need a career, you're not in the age range of having a career. These parts of you still need to be fed. So it's not like if you don't have a career, you think, well, that's not going to help me, because these are still really important parts of your team. And if you're not in your career years, your kids that are younger, or if you're retired or you don't need to work, these parts of you still desperately want to have an outlet. So that's where we start talking then about hobbies and other things you can do that are going to really allow this part of you to shine and feed you.
So whether you're a kid or whether you're a senior, everybody needs to find an outlet for their energy on a day-to-day basis. And this is the aspect of your, the crave, we call it the C of career. So next is the R.
Relationships. Yay. So when you know the parts of you that are in charge of your relationships, you will know what you need to feel loved, connected, and loving. Those are 2 different things. I feel loved by the people around me because I've let them know who I am. I've shared this part of me with them. I've told them what's important to me and what will make me feel loved. So they're responding to that. That's because you know what those gifts and those parts of you are all about. But also when you do things for yourself that nurture this part of you, you have an easier access to your loving, right? So there are times there are people you love, but there are times you feel the love more, and there are times it's a little harder to get in touch with. So, you can go off on your own and do something for yourself that kind of takes care of these parts of you that are in charge of relationships, come back to that engagement and feel so much more deeply connected. Oh gosh, it was just a great story with that young woman I had today. She really knew herself well. A lot of her vibrancy signature powers were really healthy and alive. And when all I had to do was say about 2 sentences about the part of her that's in charge of her intimacy. And she shared this most amazing story with me about sitting up on a mountaintop with a friend while they played music out loud, and it was opera. Now, that wouldn't make a lot of people feel close to another person. That might seem strange. Like, why would you want to do that? But it was the perfect fit for what her intimacy power was. So, so that's what we do. We look for what are these things that are going to feed you and help your relationships really thrive and really flourish. Relationship with your spouse or your significant other, your kids, your parents, your closest friends.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So this is a big part. We have many people that will bring us their fiance, their latest love interest, just simply to you know, like for Chai and I, we don't have any powers in common, and yet it was instantly went, wow, I love those qualities in you. And she could reciprocate that and say, wow, I love those qualities in me. You know, sometimes we will do a session for a married couple and we'll say they've been struggling for 30 years with making these qualities wrong or judging these qualities, and it's a, you know, it's that kind of relationship for 30 years versus this kind of relationship, and that's why it speeds up the process of people really being able to connect.
And we've had some more than one couple who've been married decades tell us, oh my God, in one session you turned around some of our longest standing arguments because we started coming from a different place and seeing the gift instead of the fault. Kind of what Janice was saying earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of relationships,
you know, as Janice says, that was the best, you know, commercial we could ever have for understanding the value. We've got many moms that say this is the most valuable tool they've ever had for raising kids, and just being able to, you know, when we have a parent who gets this done, and we say, well, have you gotten your husband done yet? No, he would think this is a little weird, and we go, oh, that's okay. We'll get it done for you. You will understand your husband much more, even if he doesn't want to do this. Eventually, the husbands may come around, but having this done for your children is the best investment you can ever have, simply because you now know truly how to nurture them, how to care for them, how to support them. You know, like a mommy bird that wants to see her babies fly. This is the tools that you need to be able to help your kids fly, find their niche, find their value, find their sense of purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, so often, you know, people are parenting their kids in what they wish they had had.
Yeah.
And that will work great if they have your power that wasn't getting fed. That'll be perfect. But it's also sometimes not perfect, you know. And in my case, my parents weren't abusive, but they were big on athletics and academics. They didn't think so much about artistry or care so much about artistry. So they just didn't even know that it was like they had plants they didn't know about that they weren't watering that were dying. We have a kitty about to come and say hi. Hello, this is Latte. And we know what her powers are also and what she needs to be
So just
fed.
just like this little kid has her dog, we have many clients that I've done many horses, many dogs, many cats.
Janice wants us to do that cat. She saw
yeah.
earlier.
When I come, I'm going to be doing that cat. Because even just understanding the medicine of these animals, you know, with every horse, I've done one cow over the years, I've done one chicken, but for the most part, cats and dogs is my most common. And just knowing the gifts they bring and the needs they have, it's amazing. It tells you so much about their personality and naturally what they bring as their medicine to the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right, so let's look. We've done C, career, our relationship. And now A.
Abundance. Oh my gosh. You know, a lot of times we think of finances, so I will speak to that too. But in general, you know, abundance is when you feel you have an abundance of time, you have an abundance of energy, you have an abundance of health, you have abundance of love in those relationships we're just talking about. There are a lot of things that make us feel abundant, and so much of it comes back to the self-care and knowing what you need and taking the time to nurture those parts of you. But when it comes to finances, let's talk about that for a minute. You know, when you are living in alignment with who you were born to be, you become a magnet for success. You know what I talked about earlier about when you're in alignment, then your words match your energy. So when you're not in alignment, your energy is putting out one thing and your words are saying something else, and people get a mixed message. Like they might have some sense of, you know, I feel like she's going to be a really chill and relaxed person, but she's actually really uptight and edgy, and I'm just kind of confused. So they might be tapping into the person's got the power of relaxation, but they're not healthy with it at all, and instead they're very stressed out. So the more you're living in alignment, it's like you're putting out this really clear message. This is who I am to the world, to the people that are trying to find you. You know, if you have your own business and you're making a web page and you're trying to put out there who you are and what you do and who your ideal client is, when you're in alignment with your vibrancy signature, those words are there and those people see it and those people come. The more you're unclear about who you are and exactly what it is you're offering through your services, the message becomes more mushy and people can't find you. And that's just a concrete example of on the web, but that's how it works in life too. You know, the purer your message, the more you're going to be a magnet for success.
And it really is about being able to recognize the value of each of these parts of you. And knowing that, like Chai said, it will magnetize when you value it and feed it, then ultimately it's kind of like a flower that's starting to blossom. The whole world starts to reflect, wow, I see that value. I see that gift that you have, and I need that gift.
Yeah, beautiful.
All right, so that's A, and now V, vibrancy. You know, that's, we how many years ago? 8 years, 7 years ago? How many when you change? Anyway,
some years ago,
we decided, we did a little marketing shift for ourselves to just get ourselves really clear about what are we providing to the world. And the word vibrant, that's why we're the vibrancy path, became this sort of, wow, every day I could wake up and go to work on the vibrancy path. That would be cool. You know, so for me, this word vibrant is such a fabulous word because it denotes being alive, it denotes being healthy, it denotes being dynamic. It's about energy flow and engagement and aliveness, and those are the qualities that are valuable to my vibrancy signature. And so we knew that if we could teach people how to get more physically vibrant, more emotionally vibrant, more mentally vibrant, be in alignment with their soul light, and be vibrant at that spiritual level, then that's, you know, every day we get feedback that it's like people are so grateful to know this about themselves, so they get to impact the world the way they want to with their vibrancy.
Yeah. The other thing too, so often we don't feel vibrant if we don't feel healthy. And there is a huge relationship between living in alignment with your vibrancy signature and your health.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, every pain in your body, every health issue you've ever experienced on some level, energetically, at the core level, goes back to you being out of balance with one of your vibrancy signature powers.
Yeah, and that's
a big statement.
That's what I do every day, whether it's a physical injury that a person's trying to recover from. It's kind of like a splinter that went in and it's just been abscessing for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. And finally, it reaches a point where it says, I can't function anymore. And what we have to do is, like, you can always get a Band-Aid for a problem, but knowing what the cause and the core roots of a problem are, that's what we specialize in with vibrancy healing. So literally helping people become more vibrant is simply removing what doesn't belong in their vibrancy signature.
Yeah.
The beliefs, the thought patterns, the stresses that didn't run their course, like a weather pattern that's just hanging over our head. Every energy needs to move. If it doesn't move, it's going to cause imbalances physically, as pain, as dysfunction, emotionally with depression, and as any other anxiety or stress emotional disorder. All of the mental aberrations that we have are all parts of us that says, I can't be me. And you know, it's so amazing. Every day I get to work with people beginning to every day learn to appreciate that part of themselves more. And as a result, their physical health keeps improving.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is part of why we call this the vibrancy path, because this is a journey, especially this piece we're talking about, vibrancy healing. it's a much farther down, oh, it's not a much farther down the road step, but the first session that we're talking about doing in Houston and Austin is learning your vibrancy signature. That's where we understand what your soul's blueprint is. If you're having any health issues, if you're having any physical or emotional imbalances and challenges, any pains in your body, and you want to find out, so how is this relating to my vibrancy signature and how can I shift it at that level? That's how Jamie spends most of his time. I do most of the sessions for the vibrancy signature coaching, and he spends his day working with people all over the country, helping them polish these up or bring these more into balance so that you can own them more, step into them more, and really let them shine. And ultimately they shift the health patterns.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I can help people with their health issues, but I need to know their vibrancy signature to be able to pinpoint how to help them.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, we've got a couple that's flying in from Spain in the fall. Specifically, I've seen them on Skype, and we know what's going on in their bodies that's causing their health challenges, but I need to know their vibrancy signature to be able to help them help themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
really cool.
That's
really
the
cool work.
CRAV, and now what's next, Chai?
E.
E.
Which is for ease and enjoyment and energy. It's
Yay.
a nice little summary.
We couldn't just pick one. We had to.
Yeah.
We had to. All those E's are what we want.
Yeah, you know, but right now, what's really I'm thinking about is ease. If you are one of these people, I wish I could see you all raise your hands that feel this way. But I was one of these people, and I've talked to a lot of people who've had this experience where you feel like you have multiple parts of you wanting different things. Yes, I want to go out Friday night. That'll be so much fun. Oh, I want to stay in and just relax and cuddle up with the dogs, you know. Yes, I want to try this job. No, I don't want to try this job, right? And you feel that split, and there's all this inner angst and conflict over which way should I go? I'm so split. So part of, for me, the ease has been as I take care of each part of my team, and I know what to do to get them to work together as a team, my choices are so much easier. I magnetize what's going to be a better fit for me much easier. And it's really clear to me when the choices come. Most of the time it's really clear. Yep, that's right, in alignment. And when it's not in alignment, or it's I am split, because some parts of me might still say that feeds me, and other parts of me say that doesn't feed me. But now I know who's talking, and I can get into the conversation almost like a mediator. You know, the big me can get in as a mediator and start trying to get everybody on the same page, so that ultimately when I make that decision, I'm 100% in. We're just trying to make a big decision today, and I said I'm not quite 100% in yet, because when I'm 100% in, it all locks in. You know, so
she was 85.
I was 85, so I'm going to work with those parts of me and see what would it take to make them happy, to bring them along, so that I'm 100% engaged, because I'm not willing to move forward unless I am. You know, it would be too difficult. So, so knowing my vibrancy signature brings me this ease and this peace inside, because my choices are much more clear and much more in alignment and much easier. And that brings me more enjoyment, and that all gives me more energy.
So we had to have all three.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. So, you know, this is where I think it's important to look at not only this, I love this Mark Twain quote, you know, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. And I think the vibrancy signature is that way you find out why.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully we've stimulated some questions if you're watching this live, and in a few minutes we'll be able to see, you can type them into the chat window. But before we do that, we're going to go over some of the logistics for Austin and Houston, and we're going to show you how you can sign up. What we do, oh wait, can I go back to that for a second? What we do, so a vibrancy signature session is made up of two parts. There's the evaluation part, where Jamie has to sit with you in person. He's going to touch a few pulse points on your body. That's going to help him evaluate what your powers are. It's really simple. It's really painless. 20 minutes. The follow-up coaching session is where you find out all the juicy information. But what we've decided for our traveling is that we don't want Jamie to be gone that long. So especially when he does 30, 40, 50, 60 people in an area, right? He couldn't stay and do all these 2-hour sessions. So he goes in for these 20-minute evaluations. You'll meet him in Austin. It's going to be at Sharon Cooper's house. We'll have that information for you. And in Houston area in spring, it's going to be at Janice's house. And so you'll just have this 20-minute appointment for your evaluation. at which time you'll sign up for your follow-up coaching session, which we're going to do on the phone, or we could do by Skype if you'd prefer to do that. And so we'll get that on the calendar. And you have a choice between a 1 hour and a 2 hour session. We always recommend the 2 hours, so it's a much better deal. You just get more depth, you get more coaching, you get more time to really apply it to your life. So the 1 hour session is with Jamie, but he and I'll both tell you it's kind of nuts and bolts. There's so much information. It takes an hour for him to get it all out. So there isn't as much time to really talk with you. You know, the 2 hour session, that's why we created that. So in that we have a lot more time to really talk about and what is going on with your career and how does this apply to your relationships, and get more practical with it. So let us show you, we're going to walk you through, because we have this cool screen sharing thing. We're going to walk you through, we're going to take you to our website and show you how you can sign up so that we'll all be familiar to you if you would like to do that. What you doing?
Over here.
Oh.
Website.
Can they see this? No,
Oh.
you have to share it.
Oh, I've got to share it. That's
Sorry.
right. Sorry. Hang on one sec. There we go. Minimize. I got to minimize. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. We'll get this. Here we go. This one. Yeah.
Yes.
There we got it. Dun, da, da, da.
There we go. Okay. So if you go to this webpage, thevibrancypath.com/VS for Vibrancy Signature, Texas, 2017. This will take you to our page here. And it's a great page to share with other people maybe who didn't hear this presentation. It's, you know, a lot of this is stuff we've talked about. And there's a bunch of purple buttons on here that you can click. They come up over and over again. The top one you can see will take you to the page to sign up for Austin. Bottom one will take you to Houston. So let's pretend we click here on Houston. And that's going to take you to this page, which is where you put your deposit down. So we're just asking now that you put down a $50 deposit. That's what's going to hold your spot, and it'll make your appointment to see Jamie while he's in Texas. And then when you're sitting there with him, at that point you can think about it, and you can talk with him a little more about it, which one might be more appropriate for you, and you can decide whether you want the 1 hour session or the 2 hour session. So the 1 hour session is $195. Usually the 2 hour session is $295, but we're doing a special for the Texas trip of $250. So it's really, for the extra $55, you get a whole other hour. So you'll just do the add to cart and do your $50, and then it's going to take you to this screen, which is Sign Up Genius, because it's a genius program that helps you sign up. So like this is the Houston page. We'll be there on Friday, and you can see the times, and you'll just click on the one that you would like to take. There's some Saturday times as well. So that is it. We've done this.
See Brian Young's already signed up.
Brian Young, there you go. We've already got one. So there's still lots of openings, but we hope they're going to fill up really fast. So so please go on and put your deposit down and get the time that you really want to get.
Cool. So we've got a little bit of time now. If anybody has any questions for us about anything that we've shared or anything that you want to know, or Janice, if you want to chime in on anything that you think we should be talking about, please let us know. So for those of you who are wanting to ask a question, you can go to the bottom of your screen under the chat comment and basically type your question. We'll see it there.
I think you have to like hover your cursor toward the bottom of your screen, and then this little bar comes up for chatting. Yeah,
Ellen Killinger already, we know that feature works. So if anybody's got any questions, we'd be happy to answer. Otherwise, we will bid adieu. But Janice, anything you want to add to our little evening presentation?
I thought it was wonderful. Very thorough.
Mutual Admiration Society, right?
And I will just say, this hands down is so worth, the cost of it. I can't imagine what a disaster so many of my relationships and just so much of my life would be without the work, understanding my vibrancy signature and also the therapeutic work that I've done with Jamie. It really is incredible.
Thank you. Thank you. Ellen says, ditto. These two are amazing.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thanks, Ellen. We won't always do webinar, Ellen. We'll get to see your beautiful face too someday.
Well, if nobody has any questions.
It's okay. Good. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and for those that are going to see this at a later date, I look forward to meeting you in Austin or in Spring, Texas, and I look forward to end of August seeing you all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I look forward to seeing you on Skype for your appointments or hearing your voice on the phone, and just helping you discover all this inner beauty that you've got, all these gifts, how to use them, how to maximize them, how to lead the life you were born to live, and have the most amazing time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Thanks again, Janice.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you, everybody, for attending.
Thanks, everybody, for
for
spending your
everybody,
evening.
yeah, and for everybody watching the replay. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.